Hello friends, Tony here. Now in this last video, because this one is going to be the last one, what I want to do is, because we have transfer permission, roles, users, all of them, I want, when we create a role, I want to have a multiple select with permissions. So when we create new role, I want to give permissions what I want, and the same when we edit. And also I'm going to do the same with permissions when we create new permission, and when we edit the permission to have a multiple select with the roles. And also when we create a new user or edit the user, I want to have a multiple select with roles and multiple select with permissions. Now, if you go to the Laravel permission package, and in the basic usage here we have, when we get a role or permission, we can give permission to the role or assign a role to permission like this. Or if we want multiple, we can say sync permission. Or if we have a permission, say sync roles. Now, if you go to the Splade.dev, and here we, on the roles and permissions, we use form builder. On the users, we use form components. But with form builder, if you go to the select available fields and select here, right here we have a select with for example, for countries, or we can add permissions. We have options, we have multiple, which is okay, and we have choices, good, but we don't have a relationship here. So I haven't found, maybe, but I have read and I have not see when we have a relationship. If you go to the form components on the select, we have here a relationship. So yeah, here we have eloquent relationship, and we can add relation here. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use form components also on the roles and permissions. So let's start and work with that. I'm going to open the roles role controller first and start with the roles. And let's start with the create. I'm going to remove the form here. And because we need permissions, I'm going to say return the view with permissions. And permissions is going to come from permission model from Spati. And I'm going to use plug method and say plug the name and the ID. And we need to transform the array like this. And let's copy this, scroll down on the edit, remove also what we have here for the form. Instead of form, I'm going to add the role, $ role here, and then also the permissions. And we are okay for now. Now let's open the views, so resources, roles. On the create, we have something like this, but we need is go to the users on the create user, and I'm going to copy what we have here. And now paste it inside the roles create. Okay, let's make some changes. First, the route is going to be admin roles store. Then we have the name. And let's say here, name like this. Then we need to remove the others, and we need to add a multiple select, which is this one. So let's copy this and paste it here. Now the select name is going to be permissions. Options is going to be $ permissions. We have a multiple and a relation, and the permissions is coming from So here we have create and we added permissions here. Now the same thing I want to do also for the edit. So let's copy what we have on the create and paste it on the edit. So remove this. And now we need to say route is going to be update. We need to bind the model, which is default, going to be the role. Okay, and also we need to pass the role here. Also, we need to specify the method because by default is post, but we need to say put here. And we are good. Let's save. Let's go to the role controller now. And on the store, I'm going to go first to the create role request and add permissions also here. So I'm going to say permissions, and permissions is not going to be required. So maybe we want to create the role, but without permissions. So let's say going to be nullable for now. And I'm going to copy this, save. Let's open also the update role request and paste it also here. Okay, and here now let's go and say a role in permissions. Like this, just say request permissions. And let's try now. If I open the roles, go to the new role, and yeah, we have something like this. Why? Because we don't have any permission. So let's go and create new permission, and I'm going to say just create user, and one more for the edit the user. Let's go to the roles now and new role. Yeah, here we have a create and edit, but we don't have styles. Yeah, we need to add choices here. So let's go to the create and say choices. Let's save. Let's save and let's come the browser and refresh. Yeah, now we have something like this. Good. Let's create a new role. We don't have any, so let's create manager, and the manager is going to have create and edit permissions. Submit. Yeah. Let's create new one, and I'm going to say just test role, submit, and yeah, here we are. Now, if I go to the manager, we have create and edit, and why we don't have on the edit, we need to add also choices here. And yeah, on the manager, we have the create and edit user. Go back on the test, we have empty. And if I add create user, make sure I have done this. So go down there, yes, and paste it. Refresh again. And on the test, I'm going to say edit user, submit, go now. Let's remove, submit, go and check. Yeah. Okay, that's it, how we can assign roles, permissions to the roles. Now let's do the opposite. And for that, we can go, because why I want to do that in the permissions is, so when I create new permission, we need to create the permission here and then go to the roles and assign that. But if we have roles, we can do in one go. So let's do the same. First, I'm going to open the create permission and going to do the same we have also on the roles. So copy this form and go to the permissions, paste it. Good. Now change the route to be permissions. Okay, the options is going to be for roles. Good. Let's save. Let's go and copy this. Paste it also on the edit permission. Now we need to bind here the model. So let's say default model is going to be $permission. And we need to change this to be update, pass in the permission. Good. Also, we need to change the method and say method to be put like this, and we are okay. So let's say close this, also close this one. Now let's go and open the permission controller. Here, remove the form, and let's go to the role controller. And I'm going to copy this just to save some time and paste it right here. So admin permissions create, but in set of permissions we need to add the roles and also role model like this. And the same, we are going to do the edit, so remove what we have here, permission edit. Here we need to add permission, which is going to be $permission. And then also role. We are okay. Then we need to go on the store, create permissions request, and say also here roles is going to be nullable, and copy and save this, and do the same on the update. Save and close. Now let's go to the basic and say permission sync roles. Copy that on the create first, on the store method. Here I'm going to say $permission to be equal with that, and then paste this in. In set of roles, we are going to say request roles, and let's copy and do the same on the update, and let's save this. I think we are okay. On the permissions create, we have permissions here, but we need to say roles. Yeah, let's go and permissions create, we need to say roles, save. Also, I think we have another edit, so let's say roles, save, and yeah, here we are on the permissions, create new permissions, and just test. And here we have roles. We have also the admin here on the select. We can give admin role and say just a test role to this one, so the test permission, submit. Yeah. On the click now, we have also the test on the permissions. Good. If I go now to the roles and to the test role, we have a test permission here. Okay, so here is the role. We go to the role and see we have this permission. If I remove that one, we are to the roles, we don't have any. If I go to permissions and the test permission, we don't have any. Good. Now the last thing is to work with the users. And we need to do the same we have done here. So I'm going to copy this and go to the users, create. I'm going to paste it right here. And one more for the permissions. So change this to be permissions and also permissions here. Good. Same, let's go and let's copy this and let's do the same in the edit. Okay, close everything for now and let's open the user controller. On the create, we need to have here. So let's go and copy what we have on the roles. We need to add permissions and let's go to the permission controller and copy this one. So we need to add permissions and also roles and let's import them from models. Also this one. Okay. Copy also here and scroll down to the edit because we need to add the user and also the permissions, roles, and the user. And now let's go on the store user request and add here roles, which is going to be nullable. Copy and paste it right here for permissions also. And then save. Let's copy this one and let's navigate on the update users and paste it also right here. And save this one. Now on the store, we need to say $user. Let's open the permission controller. Copy this one. Go to the user controller. Paste that in. Instead of permission, we are going to say user. But let's cut and paste it right here. And also sync permissions. $request permissions like this. And on the update, copy and do the same on the update. And save. Let's try now. Let's refresh. Let's go and create new user. Let's use a fake pillar here. And I'm going to say test for this one and also test for this one. So the new user, which is, I'm going to say here, new user like this and say submit. So let's search for the new user. It is. And let's say if I edit, yeah, we have the new user with the test. And if I remove, let's remove also this one and say update. Also search for the new user again. And yeah, now let's give it test again and test again, because what I want is, let's open the table plus and here on the roles we have permissions and role, and on the model has permissions, we have empty, and model has roles, we have one, which is the admin. Okay. Now if I add test and test to this user, so test role and test permission, say submit. From here, model has roles, we have one more, and model has permissions. Yeah. Okay. All the best, and thank you for watching my videos.